Blog Talk Radio.
Quick question, ladies and gentlemen. Do you ever find that words sometimes keep on running through your mind? Sometimes my rhymes and words are stunning. These days I find my word designs refine and dine, just like fine wine. So here's a few to give you clues as to some of the ways my wordplay moves. Wordplay just ridiculous. Volume straight up infinite. Inception is synonymous with Big Virge, the eponymous. Conception not inglorious. Bastard, no, erroneous. My use of verse is glorious. In fact, it's meritorious because it's tight, not porous. Chorus? No, because it flows and has no place on talent shows. Talent? Whoa, you better know what I construct may one day blow a hole in all these shows for hoes. Prostitution? No, not how I roll. Talking of those, no time for coke or yes cocaine, because my nose does not house notes where air should flow. Flows I got those, close to rock boats, racist places, so many faces, sometimes my mind defines invasive. Wait, I'm just playing and relaying words of verse from the thoughts of Big Verge. My head, it hurts just like my arm, because I write like those who fight and wear the arms of those who choose to, yes, bear arms. Violence? No. Big Verge's calm. I'd rather charm, so please be smart before my words get in your class or your rascal. Am I Bajan? No, but here's the quote, I'm English born, so know of their scorn, but I'm now reborn with Caribbean views just down the road from my new bedroom on Bajan shores. Not cold, but warm. I'm happier now that I have found a place for myself on my parents' grounds. Africa? Next, well, more or less. So much of this world I haven't seen yet. Girls, that's where this poem ends. So many look fine, but I just can't find one who's down to fool around with a man Big Verge, the connoisseur of spoken words. I guess that's why I write these rhymes and put in verse words that traverse, that I now find run through my mind.
Hello, and welcome to Cosa Nostra Radio. Little bit of On the Verge with Verge and Jay, and La Cosa Nostra is a family unit located on allpoetry.com, allpoetry.com, the world's largest poetry community. Want to thank Kevin and the crew for giving us a place to call home and hanging our hats and letting us discuss and letting us read poetry and letting us have fun. Without further ado, let me bring on my partner in crime, Verge. Hey, Verge, how you doing, brother?
Hey, Jay, how are you doing, bro? You all right? Everything cool? You sound kind of, you did say you were tired. You sound a little tired there, bro.
I am a little tired. Working overtime all week eventually catches up to you.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I hear you.
We'll throw it off. Don't worry about that. We'll throw it off.
The thing about it is, here I am saying to you, like in private message, so I have to just let people know, if there are technical issues tonight, it's because all of a sudden, my laptop is throwing all sorts of weird maneuvers on me. So I'm trying to navigate and hope that we can get through this without too many problems, man. But yeah, go ahead, Jay. You want to obviously go ahead with the disclaimers and explain how we're going to start the show.
Yeah, I'm not sure where my disclaimer is anymore right now, so that's okay. I'm looking for it.
Okay.
It's one of those days, you know, I put in a bunch of stuff and I'm like, I don't even know where it went to. Oh, well, it's no big deal. It's not the end of the world. Oh, there it is. Here we go.
This Blog Talk radio show is supported and paid for by La Cosa Nostra Radio. All expressed views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of La Cosa Nostra Radio and its leadership.
I guess that's just to be on the safe side.
Well, I don't know how safe we're going to be tonight, but yeah, I figured that would be, as you did it last week, it's always a good way to start the show. So, if I may, let me quickly advise everybody of the basis of how this show is hopefully going to work tonight. We are a poetry show, but we are also a discussion show, people. So what we would ask is that if you are on air, please try to limit the background noise that you might have in your home, in a dog, or whatever it is that you've got, particularly when poems are being read or audio is being played, so that other people's listening enjoyment does not get interfered with. Please speak freely on the show, as you've heard. We know that we've had to put a disclaimer up, but the disclaimer gives you that freedom because obviously if anybody's going to have a go at anybody for something that's said, it will be you that is accountable, not us. Keep your comments on the topic, please, but please try to be concise and let us know when you've ended your comment. That way we will hopefully avoid too many people interrupting you in your flow. And that's pretty much it from my side of things, Jay. So I know that you have quite a couple of emotional things to let people know about and to pass on, so please do so.
All right, I will. Plus, also, if we put you on mute, don't worry about that. We will call you in when your time to talk is available. So don't worry about that. We will get you in. Let me first of all bring in a caller. And let's say hello to Linda. Hey, Linda, how you doing? Is it Linda or is it Raph or am I messed up or who am I?
No, that's me.
What are you doing
I would
to
mute
us?
you before you muted me. How are you guys?
Well, Jay, I'm kind of tired too. I've had one of those weeks and I'm seemingly having it with my laptop right as I speak to you, so I'm not loving it at the moment, to be honest. But hopefully, as I say, we'll get through the show well. How are you, my dear? You're well. I take it you've got my message as well.
No, I didn't get your message, I don't think.
Oh, maybe you should check the messages, your private messages. I sent you one earlier.
Oh, okay. I'll have to check it out. Anyway, I'm good. You know, I'm healing and got my cranes back, so I'm happy about that. And everything's cool.
Great to hear. Good to hear it. And good to hear you on the show. Thank you so much for calling. Jay, go ahead, bro.
I wanna also welcome to the show Rose. Hey, Rose, how you doing?
Hey there. How are you?
Good. I just sent you a message, Rose, if you want to check that out.
Yeah, I did, but it doesn't work. It's still locked.
Well, you should be able to edit your own post. That's weird because it always lets you edit your own. Well, I'll go ahead and unlock it then.
Okay.
I'll unlock it. I'll unlock it.
Okay.
No problem. No problem. Well, here's what we got going on, folks. And I want to go ahead and bring this up and first of all say hello to everybody. But we're kind of in a serious time in this world, and a serious time in our lives. And with the COVID going around and everything, we just want to put out some condolences right now. Laughing Soul lost a good friend of hers due to COVID, and want to just send out thoughts and prayers out to India. I'm going to read a poem that she wrote for this. I'm going to read a poem that she wrote for this, and then I've got more information after this, and we'll let everybody know. So here we go. And this is called Prayer for the Victims of Coronavirus. Wrath of nature, no one does it spare. Men, women, and children, all caught in its deadly snare. The one donning a crown, a voracious asp, a monster vicious, a demon beware. Tied our souls, gasping for breath, devoid of touch, of love, staring at doorway bare. Bowing down in reverence, lowering myself on my knee. Humbly I pray to you, O Lord, shield us with your tender care. Oh, how blessed are we who are safe from its fangs. Least we can do, keep victims in our prayer. End poem.
Awesome.
Well, we also want to, at this time, put up the fact that we have a member of ours that's right now in the hospital. And we just ask that everybody send out prayers for him. He was recently diagnosed as well with COVID. It is blue.
Oh, wow.
Xylophonic blues. He is in the hospital right now. So please keep him in your prayers. And yes, Tans, it is blue. I know you've written with him, and we just ask that you guys keep him in the prayers. And we will get through this. We will help him through. And this is what I'm talking about, the power of our voices, folks. We bring our voices together. So if there's anything that people would like to say, I would, mic's open right now.
Miracles still happen. Keep believing.
Absolutely. And Momo, I can see you if you. I don't know if you can hear us, but we just ask that you get in contact. We can't hear at all. All right. Okay. Hopefully that'll clear up. But like I said, keep everything in your prayers, folks. We will try to go ahead and work this out. And Lizzie is listening out there. Glad to see her. And we do speak against this thing. We raise our voices as one against everything that's going on out there about this. And wow. Yeah, it's a hard thing to do, folks, but we need to do it, and we need to stand strong. So, Verge, where do you want us to start out with this day of poetry?
I didn't speak because I was sort of posting on the board just to say, speedy recovery to anybody and those who have close relatives or friends who are suffering from this virus or any illness out there in the world right now. But as you say, JC, there is much that people need to be reflective of, particularly when you have your health, because there are many people who do not have theirs right now and are losing their lives due to a number of different reasons. So I just wanted to know what you said and wish those well and offer my condolences to that person. Jay, you have Titus, I believe. You said.
Yes. First of all, let's see if Momo got through. Momo, are you through?
I can see she's connected, but I can't hear her.
She can hear us. Momo,
can you hear us?
I can't hear you now. Oh, no.
She's definitely connected. I saw her in the studio. She's definitely connected. So there's definitely a line that she's dropped. She's dropped.
Well, hopefully this will clear up. She's going to try again. And this is all about trying. Blog Talk isn't the greatest platform, but it's what we have. Okay, here we go.
We're working with it. Who've we got now?
Exactly. So let's give Titus a go here, and then we will...
What happened?
Okay. Homage to Thomas Chatterton. This home is yours, 'tis profoundly acclaimed, Thomas Chatterton, here among those who were too young to die. A waiting game, diligence offers nought, though romance chose youths like you. Delegate the clause, keepers of undue silence, will still prolong making up for lost time, what little there was. Half-hidden truths they hold, both right and wrong. Such reverence the past whilst much it draws from the highest realm, blessed on the shelves of libraries. There the spirit which once yours, such sweet reminders these. It's where love delves, not fear, doth overwhelming wisdom bring. Young sage, again he thrives, still in passing.
That's awesome. Love it. You know, when we take a look at this right here, I think it's kind of a cool thing. And the reason I think it's so cool is because each person in their lives was, we were all affected by some form of writing here or there. And it doesn't matter what type of writing it was, especially more in our days. And man, I'm going to try to make us look as old as possible, because a lot of times, you know, people aren't grabbing books these days, which is kind of a sad state of affairs. They're not grabbing the wisdom of what was in the books, what was told of us. And I remember growing up, I was just fascinated with Hemingway, and I had this wonderful book by Tagore, and a lot of that stuff really influenced how I lived my life and how I went along and grasped a hold of the world and grasped a hold of who I was, because, you know, how can you really define yourself if you don't know if you don't know who you were to begin with by reading what other people were or how other people bring out wisdom? How can you associate anything in your life with the world itself if you don't know what the world is about? And I think that is a powerful statement in itself, and I'm glad Titus brought this along. What do you think, brother?
Sorry. I was going to lose me. Yeah, I was just reading about the life of Chatterton and the interesting aspect of the fact that his writing, he was trying to make a living from, and he wasn't successful, but he impressed certain people and certain writers down the line who then took on the mantle of his work and were inspired by what he did. And in talking on the subject of what the show hopefully will be predominantly speaking on today, the power of words in the world, ladies and gentlemen, we want to exude that in these shows to let people, I'm sorry, you're getting some interference in the background, you'll have to excuse that. Yeah, we want to exude that. Oh, goodness. Okay, let's try again. Yeah, it's incredible how a man's words from hundreds of years ago could still inspire people today. And I think that we have, as artists and poets, a responsibility to do the same with the poems we put out into the world, the things that we offer the next generation behind us, because our words do live on, and they are things that inspire others. And this poem reflects deeply upon in the fact that Chatterton's words outlasted his life and are still being brought to life by others in different ways today. So thank you for this contribution, Titus. It was a very relevant and a good way to start the show. Who did we have was going to jump in this week? Was that you, Irish?
Yeah, that was Rose. But first of all, welcome Randall to the show. Hey, Randall.
What's up, guys? Good evening.
Good evening, Randall. Great to have you on.
Big V, thank you, brother. It's my honor.
Oh, great.
I've only got a little while, and I've got to attend a previous engagement.
Okay.
But however, I do have a piece for you, Big V, that you inspired it.
I inspired. Oh my goodness.
And this piece I kind of wrote for you.
Oh wow!
So,
thank you.
But I want you guys to finish in the comments on what you're talking about. But thank you, guys.
Great. Thank you for being here. Get to you very shortly, as you say you don't have much time. Rose, you wanted to have a comment. Please feel free to speak.
Oh yeah, I really enjoyed this tribute to Thomas Chatterton, and it's amazing how he was such a close person when he was a young man, when he wrote so many incredible works that they thought he invented someone else that he was. And it was a bit of a farce, but he was exposed. But this was just such a great tribute to his work. He was the forerunner of, some really greats, and I think Titus did just a superb job on honoring him with this poem, and I really enjoyed it.
Fantastic. Great poem. Thank you.
All right,
much.
before we go any further, we got a couple more callers. Want to welcome the boss herself, Boo. Can't forget about Boo. Hey, Boo Boo.
Hey, how are you?
Hello, Boo. The boss lady. The boss lady in charge. Hey, how are you doing? It's great to have you on. How you doing there? You all right? Busy day today? Is that right, I imagine?
I'm actually off tonight, believe it or not. So.
Oh, thank goodness. So we've got you in a nice, calm place. That's what we want.
As calm as I get,
and,
yeah.
Okay. Let's also welcome to the show Wayne. Hey, Wayne.
Hey, guys. What's up?
Hey, Wayne.
Boo? What's up, Boo? Rose?
Hey, Wayne.
JCA, Randall, Verge?
Hey, Wayne. Great to have you on.
Good evening, Wayne. How are you, brother?
Hey, Randall. How's it going, Randall? Nice to hear your voice again.
You too, bro.
Hey, Boo, let's go get a cup of coffee after the show.
All right, let's
Wayne, don't encourage her, please. The coffee's what gets her hyperactive, all right? We want to keep her in a nice, calm place today. We want to keep her
it's better than whiskey.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh,
okay. Ladies and
That's
gentlemen,
before decaf.
Yeah. we've got a good set of people on, so let's now try and move along. Jay, I think we need to put Wayne's poem up next. Oh, in fact, sorry, before we get to Wayne, Randall, you indicated that you don't have long, so would you like to read your poem now?
I tell you what, I'll put this piece up, guys, and V, I wrote this for you. And then I've got a quick appointment, and I'm going to come back and see if I can catch the tail end of your show. All right?
Okay.
But, brother, this one here is for you.
Thank you.
Got it? I think that's...
Yeah, we've got you up. A remnant of Diaries of Madmen. Thank you. Yeah.
Get it? All right.
This
is a remnant from Diaries of Madmen. The interludes between a passive wind are but muted segues, filled with pensive monsters struggling for sovereignty. Candy royal and rich pedigrees direct my attentions into tangible forms against the onslaught of caustic thinking and treacherous jealousies. Malignant upon landscape posters, I find breathing a woven passion for creation, a subtle mistress that beckons dreams during lonely moments and quiet sufferings, until balance is restored in the sacredness of being. End of poem.
Randall, wow. As ever, a fabulous, thought-provoking, and very thoughtful set of words. I took a particular liking to the line, against the onslaught of caustic thinking and treacherous jealousies. I just love the way you describe these things in a way that intellectualizes what it is that a lot of us try to do with the words that we put into our poetry. This, to me, reflects on the very subjects of what we're speaking on today, which is the power of words and how they affect people's thinking, and that there are treacherous jealousies that are the things that people put onto us because of the truth that certain people speak. And this, to me, defines that very battle that we are fighting more and more in the modern world. I hope that gives a fair appraisal of the message that you're trying to send. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, thank you, brother. We're fighting a lot of things on all fronts, and it can be overwhelming at times. And fear and a lot of the atrocities are mind killers, and so it creates that caustic thinking. If we kind of all remember that the real enemy is what's clogging up the airways in a lot of sense, in a lot of frequencies. So we kind of need to take it back, and we start with ourselves to get rebalanced. But yeah, thank you, brother.
Thank you very much. Thank you for jumping in and joining us on the show, and we won't keep you too long if you've got a prior engagement, but as you say, if you can, please come back and let us hear a little bit more from you later on. But before you go, let's get some comments other than my own on this poem. JC, I'd like to start with you. What did you think of what you heard from Randall?
I'd love to start on this because I think this is the perfect reason we opened the show up the way we did, talking about and asking for the prayers that we asked for, and for all our new callers, make sure that you keep Blue in your prayers. He is right now hospitalized with COVID. And bottom line is we are fighting many, many things on many, many fronts, as Randall said. And this is one of those things that we have to come together in a united voice and become one and the same. And that is the important part about this, is just bringing forth a united voice that speaks much louder than even a group of people that are trying to scare us to death, and words and stuff that are trying to scare us to death. So I think you bring forth a great piece here, brother. Just keep it going.
Thank you, Jay. Blessings to you, brother. Thank you.
Boo, you were there murmuring and laughing in the background. What have you got to say about Randall?
I got lots to say about Randall. All good, of course, but he, I think the fact that he wrote this for me is really cool and shows your heart, what kind of person you are, which is wonderful, big-hearted, caring individual. I love the picture, too. That looks awesome. But to see muted people that are muted, they don't want to say anything. They just want to sit around and let people just sit around and bitch and complain, but they don't really have any balls to say anything or to take a step in the right direction to change anything. So they're kind of just on the wayside, never walking the walk, but talking the talk. Eye candy, those ones that just look good, sound good, but have nothing going on the inside, no substance, no brains, aren't really helping us out in any way, shape, or form in the world. They're just malignant and just bringing us down. That's not what we need. Third, passion and creation, subtle mistress. Those are things that aren't really talked about very much. Passion, creation, our artistic ability or art and poetry, because no one really talks about it because they're talking too much for themselves and all the other bullshit that they're doing. So we're off balance, we're off kilter, and that's what it says to me, and I agree. We have to take it back, and you're a great example for that, and inspirational for that. Great poem.
Yeah, so thank you, darling. Thank you, darling.
Go ahead, Randall.
You know what, guys? Like I said, there's a lot going on here, and there's a lot of people in a lot of bad way, emotionally, psychically, and spiritually, and all the other different conditions there are. And this has to start with ourselves first. It's going to get better, and we've just got to hold on and get through it. And I'm going to leave you. Thank you all. God bless all of you.
Randall, before you go, Randall, do you want to say anything about Tuesday?
Yeah. If I don't make it back, but I'm hoping to. It's time to get back to some things that we've lost here, and because I always do a music-oriented one. I want to do some rock legends of the stuff that's still gripping the people that they're holding on to here.
Right on.
And so whatever is touching people right now, the rock legend that they got a free write, want to talk about it, put in a tribute, say a couple words, do a song, whatever they want to do. But that's cool. That's a Tuesday's gig. And I'm going to relaunch the lounge. I've been working on it, turning it into an art piece here. So hopefully I'll talk to Boo about some pictures of where the boat's at now. We can put them up on the computer as we go. And anyway, I'm going to relaunch the lounge after this sabbatical.
Holla, hey.
Yeah, we're going to rock it, guys. We're going to rock it. There's good things coming. Hang in there.
All right. Like that vibration.
I'll try to get back and solicit some poetry and comment on it here the last hour. God bless all of you.
Thank you for coming, Randall.
God bless you, Randall.
Appreciate
Love you guys.
Love you.
Jay. Okay.
Yeah.
Again, firstly, let me just say, ladies, while speaking and doing their poetry, let's try and keep the interruptions to a very, very, low level, because we want to hear everything that people are saying with their poems. We definitely want to hear audio, okay, ladies? So please, if you're going to laugh, hold it in until you get to comment, and then we'll let you run wild with all your thoughts about what you may have heard, and what made you laugh, and what made you cry, whatever it is, okay? On that note, let's quickly, I'd like to get Wayne's poem on the board, firstly.
I can do that.
Let me do that. I'm doing that, Wayne, so you relax. I've got you covered, bro.
Okay.
Let's just
Next, after we get done with Wayne, Verge, let's go ahead and Momo, who is having such a tough time connecting, put a piece out there, and we'd like to do hers next, if that's okay, after Wayne.
Okay, cool. Well, Wayne, you're on the board, so if you'd like to read, please feel free. We'd like to hear this from you.
All right. This is called My Greatest Poem to Be, and it goes like this. I plan on writing an epic poem about living, about treasures when you're giving, to tell how man should live free. Will be so grand, we'll go down in history. Verse is so powerful they become quotes. After it's read, the readers will take notes. Words so smooth, future children will sing. We'll be complete, won't leave out anything. Masses will fall in love, though not a romance. Crowds will gather in the streets, mostly wanting to dance. Poems so wonderful, the world will be waiting to hear, to be compared to the great William Shakespeare. With only words of truth, my poem will feed. Probably named the newest poet of Mead. There'll be no poem considered a sequel. So complete, there'll be no sequel. End.
Oh. What a crazy ride. Short, powerful, potent, some fantastic lines in there. I absolutely love verse is so powerful, they become quotes. After it's read, the reader will take notes. So this, again, falls perfectly into the topic of the show, folks. We really want you to think hard about the power of words beyond what you write in terms of where these words reach and the effect they have globally, because we are on a global platform now. The world, the internet offers that to us, those of us doing podcasts, those of us using YouTube, whatever. And this poem to me is, sorry, I'm laughing because I've got Reimer in the background telling me, can we use swears? Yes, Reimer, you can, just not crazy amounts, and obviously nothing that's really like offensive to any particular category of people. But yeah, back to Wayne. Yeah, sorry, Wayne. But yeah, so
great,
the lines.
Great comment.
No, well, it's a great poem. You said, sorry, I just don't like this inspiration. Sorry. You said earlier that you didn't think it fit the topic, whereas to me, I think this perfectly fits the topic because it really does make it clear the value of words and how words can affect other people, which I think is a very important thing for us to be discussing, to be writing about, and to be sharing. And Randall spoke about it before he had to leave us, which is that is part of the battle that we're going through at the moment, that cancel cultures, the denial of freedom to speak on certain groups, these things that we have to fight, because that is the negating of the very last freedom that we seem to be holding dearly onto. But before I get crazy about the rest of the poem, I see Rack is also trying to call in, so hopefully we'll get Rack on air shortly. I'm going to pass this over to Linda. What would you like to say about what you heard there? Linda?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, what did you think of Wayne's poem?
What's that?
What did you think of Wayne's poem?
Well, I thought it was lovely. He brought out some good hopes and dreams there. I think I call you and you come, and he's calling on the greatest poem ever written. I kind of lost his poem. Hang on one second. Oh, here we go. Yeah, he had plans for doing this, and it will happen. You have to envision your hopes and dreams and wants for them to become, and he's doing that in this poem. He's envisioning the wonderful poem he's going to write, and in a poem within a poem. It's kind of cool. So yeah, I think you did a good job, Wayne.
Thank you very much. I got high expectations. Good imagination.
That's all right.
And so you should. We all should. We all should have high expectations like that. JC, what do you think about what you heard?
He wrote such a powerful piece here. He said he was trying to write that poem, that greatest poem ever, and to be blunt is your words, all of your words in your life have such great power. They have the power.
They do.
A lot of times words have power of life and death in them. And that is a true statement, because what happens when you stop talking to someone? When you stop talking to someone, it's almost like you've killed them. It's almost like they don't exist to you anymore. It's like their life ended for you. Yet you can build someone up in such a way that is amazing. And that's what you got to try to do, is build someone else up in an amazing way. And there's so much that you can do. Words of truth. Words of truth. That's what we need to do. We need to give words of truth. And I love how you went in this way. I love your ending here.
I love your comment.
No poem considered a sequel so complete there will be no need for a sequel. There you go, Wayne. You absolutely nailed it. And I've got several people. Yeah, you're welcome. I have some people on the line, Verge, once we get done with comments for Wayne.
Okay. Who have we got? Irish. I haven't heard a comment from you for a bit, so can we get a comment from you on Wayne's comment?
Yeah. I really enjoyed this. Words are the things that knit our lives together, or they chain our lives together. It depends on how they're used. And I really, really love this. I think what really jumped out at me in this poem was verses so powerful they become quotes after it's read. The reader will take notes. Words so smooth future children will sing, will be complete, won't leave out anything. And why not have the bar as high as possible? I think so. I mean, it's your bar, it's your aspiration. And to me, this is like a written affirmation to yourself and the rest of us to remind us that writing and putting words together, and even as we speak them, they have the power. So whether they're stitched together or they're chained together, they have that power that we never forget. If they're great, we hold them to our heart, and they caress us and we feel great and it's wonderful. And if they're chains, we still hold them to our heart and they weigh us down and we never forget. So I think that this is an affirmation and I really enjoyed it. Good job.
Thank you. I may need a collaboration on this next poem.
Yeah.
One sec.
Thank you, Irish. That was I really liked your comment. Actually, I thought that was a really great appraisal of what Wayne's poem represents. And like I said, sorry guys, I think that it's one of those poems. I said it earlier. I think I said it in my comment that there's a real punchy power to some of the stanzas in this piece. It's not the longest poem you'll ever hear about something that is quite a broad topic, but it really covers it well. And that's one of the things I really like about this particular poem. So great job again, Wayne. Thank you very much for sharing and contributing so late.
Thank all of you for your comments. I appreciate the comments, man. This is great.
Fabulous. Great stuff. JC, where are we moving to, bro? Who have you got next?
Okay, first of all, let's get Meta on the line. Hey, Meta, how you doing?
What's up, brother? Sorry, mate.
Hey, Meta, it's all good, bro. Glad to have you on the show.
Meta.
How you doing, man? You all right?
What's up, y'all? Big Verge, Wayne.
Hey.
How you doing?
All right.
All right.
Next up, we said we would read Momo next, so she wanted me to go ahead and read her poem. Okay, and let me go ahead and put this up. This is called Word in the World by Roy KBMW, also known as Momo. So here we go. Of winter mornings on Himalayan ranges, the call of word kills a soldier. After starvation of war shelters, no mouth of help murder humans. Among people of silent introverts, a friend stands, great word. Who in need, a friend indeed, help its lowest vocals. From elder parents to the pure child, the swearing words struck hard. For those in life become adult, marry off to the broken minds. A standing speaker on a black dice holds the mic for hours of 5. For he, a scholar, bring a scholar within the strength of spoken words. Deep under unconscious mind, when a self-ear hears a word, mark the gold on diamond leaves, for it's a sweet for a bitter, as world plays a word for a day. Say it louder on the right sunny ray. End poem.
Wow. That's a very interesting piece. Boo! Come on, give us some talk on this piece.
Yeah, we just lost Boo. She's going to call right back.
Boo, okay, Boo. Ooh, God, there's so much interference tonight. What is going on? So much interference. Sorry about that, guys, but as you know, it's not us, it is. Oh, it's blood. Okay. Oh, God, that's terrible. Oh, sorry, guys, sorry. We have to just wait for the interference to die down. Rose, please, give us your opinion.
Yes, I really enjoyed this poem by Momo. I think that that comes from such a depth of experience. And when you think about different things and different reflections that we experience in life and the words that pass by us, they just come back to us, and we recall them. And when the words come up, we recall the emotional impact also. And it can be friendly, or it can be painful, or it can be uplifting, or it could be many things. But I think this was really well expressed in this poem of the diversity of all kinds of words, strength of spoken words, words that are powerful because of their circumstance. And I think that this was really well written. I enjoyed this a lot.
Thank you. That is a great comment. I couldn't agree more, actually, with much that you said there. So, in passing the microphone on, Meta, can you hear us? And if so, we'd like you to comment as well on what you just heard from Momo. Sorry.
I feel like I might have to read this a couple of times because I don't know, man. I think it's a great poem, but it's going to take me another read, perhaps, to.
Yeah, you can do that. We can come back to you. I'll give you a couple of minutes while we get someone else to comment. So do that, and I'll come back to you. Okay.
Yeah, I do apologize because I smoked a fatty before calling in. So
no worries.
That doesn't help.
No worries, man. That's fine. I wish I had the time to do the same. Don't worry. Okay, we're going to move it along and bring Linda back here. Linda, I'm unloosing you now. So please give us your opinion.
I'm with Meta. This is something I would have to read again to get the full beauty of it. But all in all, it flowed very nicely, and it had a lot of nice metaphoric work done in here. And that to me, you know, I'm not big on the metaphoric thing in my work. I have a hard time constructing them. So when I see them being constructed, I find it to be some really cool work. But I would have to read this a time or two again to really get the beauty out of it. But thank you for asking my opinion.
We would, as we said, that's the whole point of the show. We want as many different opinions as we can find. So, JC.
Yes.
Give us your opinion, brother. What did you think?
Oh, I think it was powerful. You know, you are talking about something that comes in over and over into different places. Hold on one second. You know, you're talking about the different things that words can affect people, you know. You know, if you send a person into battle, there's a chance that they will die. But it's your word that sends them forward. You know, if you're pretty much you know, ultimately, if you don't speak up on different things, if you don't speak up on different issues, some of these issues will never be heard, like starvation, like war, like murder. And I see that within her writings here. Are you going to help someone with your words? Are you going to harm them? I like, from elder parents to the pure child, the swearing words struck hard. You know, think about that. Think about what you are telling your kids, telling the next generation. What comes to them? You know, that there's so much when people hold stuff within their words. You know, I take a look. A standing speaker on a black dice holds the mic for hours of 5. For he, a scholar, bring a scholar. You know, it's like, what will the teacher do? The teacher will teach someone, will bring them up through their words. And there's so much strength. I love this whole thing. It is just a kind of a walk through what word can do in the world and in human lives. And I like how she brings that forward. Wonderful, wonderful. Right here, Momo. And let me bring a new caller into the show. A couple of new callers I see. First of all, let me bring Chi into the show. Hello, Chi.
Good afternoon, people. Great poet.
Hello, Chi. Where you from?
You guys are on fire. And
so
I'm loving it.
Where are you from, Chi? Where are you from? I'm loving that accent. Where are you from?
Oh, this is Washington, D.C., USA. Oh. Hey,
the capital city.
Je m'appelle Chi. That is French. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is I'm the bubbly one. Love it.
Awesome.
Fabulous.
And
let me
also, she is new to the shows and she's just jumped right in. It's just been absolutely awesome. And we really appreciate that. And I got one. I know. Boom.
You're dealing with you're dealing with an empath tonight. I am empath.
All right.
You'll find out. People say, "Oh,
we have
crazy." You better watch out. I just did a prediction 2 days ago. They was like, "Don't tell Chi. Tell her this, and then she won't know." I said, "Okay." They told me what they wanted me to know, which wasn't the truth. And I turned around and went, "Okay." And my higher self said, "You know they just lied to you, right?" And I was like, "Well, I'm trying to mind my business because evidently they don't want me to know." And they said, "But you need to go ahead and straighten that out because you know this, that, and another is getting ready to come. It's going to get stupid." And so I turned back around and knocked on the door. I said, "Listen, spiritually speaking, my empath is telling me that this, that, and the other is here. Now, what does this, that, and the other have to do with what you said?" Then I looked them in the eyes, and I was like, "You know I'm an empath, so what you doing?" They said, "We weren't supposed to tell you. They told us not to tell you, Chief, but you found out anyway." I said, "Well, how are you going to lie to an empath?" I said, "Well, sit down and tell me the whole story now that the spirit has already let me know," and they had to give it up. People do this to me all the time. I've been an empath since I was 12 years old. I used to tell my mom, I said, "You know, my aunt coming over today. She working child. You don't know what you're talking about. Tap, tap, tap." My aunt would show up. She in the neighborhood at lunchtime.
All right. Well, we got someone else to introduce the show as well, Chi. So we're glad to have you. Thanks for calling.
Thank you for doing that, Chi. Yep.
And hello, sweet.
Hello, dear.
Ooh, 720.
That was Rhymer. That's Ryma. Ryma, what's going on, my man?
What up, Verge?
Hey, what's up, Ryma? You're on the same level. That's what knocked me off, Ryma.
That's okay. That's okay. I was like, you ain't even bought me a drink yet. What is going on?
Oh my God, it's so good to hear you, bro. It's been a long, long time, and I'm so glad you took the call to the show. I've found up there, so you just in there a little bit. We'd like to get some comments from you on other people's work, if that's cool with you, big boy.
Definitely. I can't read anything, so if you could send me their poem,
I'll take care of you, Ryma.
Right on,
I'll take care of you, Ryma. Don't worry about that.
Why can't you read anything?
He has not. We've asked him to join LCN before. He has not joined yet. We're going to still bug you about it, Ryma.
You've got no excuse, bro. Get your ass in the group, man. You could be in more than one group. It ain't going to hurt anything.
Well, I didn't know Verge was there, so.
Well, you know I'm here now, so get your ass in the group, brother. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear your voice more often, man. But again, thank you for calling. We really appreciate you being here. JC, we need some... Cool, bro. We need to move it along. So what or who would you like to drop next? Because I think we've got Irish Rose. Maybe we can put Irish Rose's poem up next to get her poem read.
I think that would be a great idea, as a matter of fact. Let me grab her poem. You go ahead and unmute her. I'll take care of her.
I'm going to add it on. Let me add it. And it's there. Okay, unmute her. Have you unmuted her? Irish, can you hear her? I've got her.
Okay.
Irish, hello. Are you back with
Hello.
us? Can you hear us okay?
Hello.
You're back on. Okay. Your poem is on the board, and we'd love you to read it.
Okay, thank you. The Nut in the Shell by Irish Rose. Begin poem. Poetry flows in and out through the roundabout, sometimes in a fog, or upon a strong written wind coursing freely through the halls of the heart and mind that deftly intertwine themselves like a nut in a shell within, obviously capturing oblivious emotions languishing with ease, or in metaphorical trip net, warped, worn, and rapidly set, and the lasso kinked then into their chain-linked melodies that think, feel, and blink, full of rainbow colors, or of their deep, scary, sexy black leathers, filled up with words and words from heavy skin, tightly pinned letters, gothically heard above a hummingbird's buzz and scriven in the deep night written, moving in and out on an emotional downspout that shouts and runs about, eating holes into your head or into your bread as you lie in your bed, brooding and construing. Oh, so confusing. Thinking about them steeping in your emotional cup, thinkingly overflowing into your lacy headspace all over the place as they become your dreaming. In poem.
Wow. Jay, I lost the words for that for some reason. So could you comment first?
Yes, and I put up the correct link up there to the poem, so everybody can check that out. Okay. This is ultimately kind of a. I want to say that this is kind of like the thought process of a poet, right here. How words overcome us. They overflow us at times, and we just can't stop thinking about them until they come out and pour out of us, which is, ultimately something that happens to each one of us. Sometimes they haunt us. Sometimes they overcome us so much that we can't do anything until they come out. And I see that, mixed in with everything you're doing. And not only that is they hold so much value within our lives. They hold so much completion within what we do, and I think it's absolutely amazing how you were able to put this together and bring this out. So I think you did a wonderful job.
Thank you.
Right, let us see if we have Madam Boo on the line. Is she still there? Yes, she is. Boo, I'm going to unmute you. Boo, give us your thoughts, please.
Did you say Boo? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
I'm tripping.
Give us your thoughts.
I didn't hear what you said. Sorry, I was. Anyway, yeah, I've been stalking Rima for a while there, so he hasn't given in yet. But I'm hoping. So for Rose, Rose, this I think the way that you read it was very you'll read it with a heart and with conviction and with a lot of and you can't help but not listen when you write something, because every time you write something, it's always a whole different way of looking at it. It's classy and elegant, and I think what you're saying here is, what the show pretty much is about, the importance of words. Not sometimes you hear people, it's not really what they say, it's how they say it, the way that they say it, and that makes all the difference. And I think I like the title too, Obligation Curse, but I think also people just speak without thinking. They speak before the other person even finishes. I think that's what you're saying, loosely spewed out, like in net implied words. Half the time they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. So they know. Right? So this is a very short brevity for you too. Great job.
No.
And then there are Oh, for you it is though, kinda, right? That's
a great poem.
Oh my God, am I reading the wrong poem? Oh my God.
I think you might be. I had a different link. Don't worry, Boo, that's not your fault. It was my fault.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Sorry. I had a different link that was sent to me earlier, so it's my fault. But I'm actually also looking through the poem now. And I have to say, Irish, that there's some great lines in this as well. Okay, so let me go. Moving in and out on an emotional downspout that shouts and rounds about, eating holes into your head or into your bread, as if you lie in your bed, brooding and construing, oh, so confusing. I think that reflects, well, from my perception anyway, it makes me think again about this whole state of kind of mass media feeding just so much misinformation to people, and people buying into the idea that everything that they're reading they need to absorb and believe as being true. Your last line as well, or your last stanza, kind of confirms that for me. Thinking about them steeping in your emotional cup thinkingly, overflowing into your lazy headspace all over the place as they become your dreaming, which is very much, again, in the essence of how words work. The dream state, which it's funny because everybody talks about, now the popular word is woke. Everybody's wanting to claim that they're woke now, and I'm like, have you been asleep that long that only now you've become woke? Do you know what I'm saying, Irish? It's like, people have got that misinterpretation of kind of feeling as though they're now part of the reality of what's going on in the world, which is women being abused in various facets of society where you would not believe happening. The issues of racism, the whole new world of cancel culture and gender phobia, I guess, is what people would define that as being. So for me, having got the right poem finally, this is a very, very powerful write and a very in-depth write with some great language and some great fiction being used. So I really thank you for offering this up to us tonight, and it's a really great piece. Really great piece.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Okay, comments quickly. I'm going to go for Chai. I have to. I'm going to see what Chai's got to say about this. I'm losing you. Chai, talk to me. What did you think about Irish's poem?
Gee! I believe that the creativity, it comes directly from the soul. And when an artist gets in connection with the heart and the mind, we are actually stimulating some of the most vital organs that is connected to the soul. And that is a deeper form of energy that I'm describing. And because I also have been, I study transcendental meditation. I've been doing that for 15 years. And I'm also an alchemist. So I'm understanding the depth of what energy is, which is an antibody, which can penetrate all matter. The human body is matter itself. Word is energy and a thought. And you can actually connect to other people through thoughts and words. Energy is words. Thoughts is words. And this is a projection. And so when you project onto them something powerful and real, and the potency of the truth, and the closer it is to the truth of the matter of all things, the deeper and the more it penetrates. So connecting one by one shows us that we are one. Multiple people, but we are still one. And this poem reminds me of that subject matter. It was beautiful.
Awesome. Verge, you're on. Verge put himself on mute.
Oh, of course, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. My bad. No, because we've got so much going on. It's kind of crazy. It's good, though. I like the fact that we're in this kind of situation and loads of people called in. Reimer, you're still on air. Did you get to read the poem?
I absolutely did.
What do you think,
First of all, I'd like to say that Irish has a fantastic reading voice. I really enjoyed your reading voice. Mine's pretty shitty, so I always like to hear people with the good one. Yeah, you read it very well. I thought it was fantastic, and I'll tell you what, I've gone through this. I mean, I especially like, let me find it. This stanza right here, full of rainbow colors, or in their deep, scary, sexy black leathers, filled up with words and words, from heavy skin, tightly penned letters, gossipingly heard above, a hummingbird's buzz, and scriven in a deep night written. It's the whole gamut, and I thought it was a fantastic poem, and you got some excellent imagery in there, and a fantastic voice, and great word choice. And there's really nothing I could say that would even do this poem. I thought it was fantastic, no doubt.
That's why we want you on the shows, Reimer, because of that kind of quality of comment and assessment, Big Bro. Thank you very much for your comment. Jay, I can't remember. Did you comment on this poem already? You did, right?
Yes, I did. Absolutely.
Okay, well, on that basis, let us move on. Linda, I know you're there on hold, baby girl, but we're going to try and keep it moving. You will get to on the next poem, which, if you have the right link, I'd like you to put it up, JC, because clearly I have the wrong one previously. NJ Towers.
Sure.
Life Outside, I believe.
There's Nick's poem right there.
Okay, and I take it you would like to read that poem for us?
Surely I can. Hold on one second.
Please do. Guys,
all right.
It's just so we cut the
This is called Life Outside by NJ Towers. I took a walk yesterday because somebody told me it's good to appreciate the beauty of nature. Collect sticks and leaves, paste them together on paper, and maybe you'll find the diagram for life. As I was walking under the blazing sun, I felt the wind take pity on me. You can sweat under the fruit of your labors, but you don't want that fire to die. Tomorrow is another day, and that which lives today might be around tomorrow, or perhaps not. The circle of life rotates on an axis. When the weak die to make way for the seeds meant to weather storms. There was a tree that fell onto a fence line, struck by lightning. It was its time. But a forest of giants wearing wooden clothes, draped with leaves, their roots exposed, reminds me that someday they too will be a memory. But what is alive has a purpose. Everything has a niche. Nothing is worthless. To ride on the wind or to die by a blade. We shall all be like that fallen tree one day, gray and old, a shell of what we once were, unable to take the cold because we lost our fur. If tomorrow is the time someone treads where I lay, I'm glad to know I saw so much life today. End poem.
Very interesting thing called Lucy. And as I promised, Linda, I am going to unmute you so you can give us your thoughts on what you just heard.
I like that. Nick has a way of coming out with some really cool, nice pieces of poetry. And I like that he got out on a day and appreciated what he was seeing and making it a brilliant time to live. I think it was a sweet little poem. The imagery was great. I'm getting a little echo here, but Nick's stuff's I always like Nick's stuff. He writes very sweetly, and I love that he made a collage out of the leaves and sticks, because that's what I would do with my kids. We would go for walks and bring back sticks and rocks and leaves and stuff like that, and make beautiful collages out of them. And I just think this was a nice little piece. Thank you for sharing it, Nick.
Thank you for your comment, Linda. Very cool comment. JC, you read it. What did you think?
You know, I don't think it's just that we talk about the words that change the world. It's sometimes the words we write can create the world. It can, bottom line, be something for us that is to be delivered to the rest of the world so that they can see what's going on in our brains and in our minds, and to show how we are in sync with what the world says. It can be a poem about the world itself, about the change, about how you should view life, about how you should live life, how you should realize what's going on. And I think that this piece right here is one of those poems. I just think that is absolutely a fantastic way to look at it, and a fantastic poem itself.
Very cool comment as well. I felt as though it wasn't directly linked to the topic, but then when I got further into the poem, particularly at the end, I like this stanza here, but what is alive has a purpose, which to me could relate to words, right? Everything has a niche, nothing is worthless. To ride the wind or to die by a blade, we shall all be like that fallen tree one day. And I think that metaphorically has quite a powerful connection to what we're talking about today, which we haven't really had a great deal of time to talk about, but that's been fine. It's been a really cool show with lots of great poets and calling in, which we always want, so thank you guys for doing that. But I felt metaphorically that it reflects on words, that the words we write, the words we share, they can be and end up being fallen trees if, as you say, we don't deal with speaking that truth. You know, we have to be realistic and reflect on the very simple things like that which surrounds us, like going outside, like life outside, as the poem's title suggests. So I think that there is much to ponder in these words. So thank you, Nick, for your contribution. This is a very interesting poem. Shy, let me get myself back over to Washington, D.C. What did you think of Nick's poem, Shy?
Looks like he was basically becoming the observer of life from that particular moment and how he saw things. And it seemed to open his eyes to some real truths, not what people say or the propaganda. He was going into the depth of his heart and being expressive, and that's what life is really all about. So I absolutely enjoyed it. And I have to apologize. I wanted to do a poem, but I'm new and I don't know where to post it.
Don't worry, Shy. We will make certain that all that information. I'm sure you have some wonderful poetry that we would most certainly like to hear in the future. So don't worry, it's all good. We've got about 40-odd minutes left tonight, so there's a few things that we've got to rush through. So it's all good. If you could stay on the line and keep giving us your lovely comments, we'd appreciate that.
And I think Verge, what I want to say is, Boo, you're helping her get to the group, right?
She's back.
Yeah, she needs help, just like how to join the group. So I'm going to help her later, or I'm going to show her. It's real easy. If she can pick a poem, we can put it up there.
Okay, cool. Well, you can do that for Shy, of course, later on. But I've just unmuted Rhymer, so I'm waiting. I'm leaving you to the end, Rhymer, because I'm giving you the poem link. So I hope you've read the poem and have some words to say about it. Rhymer?
Yeah.
So.
Well, is it my turn to comment? I'm sorry.
Yes, it is,
I
brother.
just died over here going crazy. I thought that this poem was actually fantastic. I thought it was like a mix of Song of Songs, you know, from the Bible by Solomon. It had that flow, but it also had like Lord of the Rings, like some Tolkien in it, and it was full of knowledge, wisdom and knowledge. And it started out, the very first lines actually, there's more sadness in there, I think, than the first time I read it. He took a walk yesterday because somebody told him it's good. And that was sort of melancholy to me, like someone who's just been not really doing it on a regular. And then it ended absolutely fantastic. You know, I'm glad to know I got so much life today. Every day is the only day you got. So I thought this was a fantastic write, full of wisdom, you know, and sometimes you catch all that wisdom in a moment. So I thought it was excellent. I really did.
Thank you, Ryan. That's great stuff. And as we've got you tonight, and you're such a rare pleasure and jewel to have in the crowd this evening, I think it's about time we've got you to read your poem that you sent to me. And I'm putting it on our board. I take it you've got it there for yourself to read, so you should be able to read it yourself, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so I've just put it on our board, and it is available for everybody to see. So, sorry about that. So, when you're ready, Rhymer, please let us hear.
All right. It is called by Rhymer. Make love, not war. Babylon's a whore. I can't even walk a block to the corner store without inciting a riot because I'm not being quiet. Silence is golden, but at the price of gold, who can afford to be silent? I get violent when another tries to dictate my time and tells me what to do, what to think, what to rhyme. What I did, I didn't do. I got to keep my thoughts hidden because preaching and teaching free speech is forbidden. The enemy within leaves the skyscrapers and vapors. You, motherfucker, show me your papers. Open borders and the cell phone recorders. Get ready to follow your new world order. The new guillotine is a forced vaccine. Accept and conform to the killing machine. A conspiring scheme ended MLK's dream, led by a planted figurine in this puppet regime. Mainstream media is leading the blind by giving them the answers that they want them to find. Sheeple scream those answers to the questions they don't know, suggesting indiscretion is the only way to go. Passive aggressiveness, shadow to the masses, until we're so non-aggressive we willingly walk into the gases. Our glasses half out and we're running out of time. Remind my free mind that free will is not a crime. They can kiss our asses if they want to come and find us, but there's an army of mystics just like us right behind us. The raging poetry, ladies and gentlemen, R.I.P., because people like us will always be free. The bullets and the bombs won't make me convert, but I'll bleed out my final rhyme right there in the dirt. Can you hear it? That's my spirit on the open road to wherever. And as I'm lifted by the poet, my rhyme will live forever. End poem.
Oh, you go, boy. Yeah.
Well, Boo, you're diving in there. So come on, sweetheart. Let us know what you thought of Rhymer's poem, please.
I thought that was excellent. Oh, my God. All the points you made, fuck the vaccine and the people telling you what to do and all the drones listening to other drones that don't know what the fuck they're talking about. The rhyme is spot on. I loved your voice. I like the conviction in your voice. Relevant, real, straight up. I love it. Love it. Fantastic. This deserves the front page.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's what I like to hear. That's what we want. We want poetry that makes people feel like they've got something real. And that, my friend, is exactly why I was so keen to get you on the show, Mr. Rhymer. Let's get another comment from you. For you, excuse me. Linda, I'm unmuting you, young lady. Talk to me about what you heard from Mr. Rhymer. What you said.
Rhymer. You hit the story, man. I loved it. Yeah, right on. You hit the nail on the head here. I loved your, as you said, I loved your accent. I loved your heart. That when you read this, you had heart, and you meant every word of it, and it was lovely. I'm trying to pick out a favorite spot, but I can't. I'm finding this all an intelligent word to the wise. You've come out of it and made this wide, lovely, intelligent, glamorous poem that I find just to be wonderful. I'm probably going around in circles here, but that's what I do when I get blown away. Yeah, your poem blew me away, dude. Keep it up, because you're on the right track, and anybody reading this could, well, maybe not anybody, but a lot of people reading this are just going to be blown away by it, dude. Keep it up.
Well, thank you. I absolutely appreciate that. Lovely, lovely comment. I do.
Not a problem.
Shy, I'm bringing you in. Linda, I'm going to just put you on mute for a sec, so don't disappear. Shy, what did you think of what you heard from Rhymer?
Oh, you went there. Let me talk to you for a minute, baby. You just went there. And I loved it. I mean, it was fierce. I mean, it was fire.
it had a point to make. And you wasn't holding back. I love it.
Thank you. I love you. How you like them out?
Don't get started now, because I tell you, I'll chain you up and hold you there for a day. You want to be a sex slave, baby? Don't encourage
He'll go there with you. Go right down that road with you. Don't encourage him, trust me. Thank you for your comment.
I love you too.
Thank you for your comment. That was great. Okay, I'm going to put you on hold quickly, so don't go anywhere. JC, we've got to get a comment from you for Rhymer, of course.
Brother, this is amazing. I'll tell you what. You started it right off the bat. Make love, not war. Babylon's a whore. You know, when you took a look at the city of Babylon in the Bible, it was something that was total, desecration, and pretty much the scummiest of the scummy places in that part of the world, and it was all because of greed and because of self-satisfaction and not thinking about anybody else. And I think from there you just went on to kind of paint that whole thing into what our world is today, because it is, you know what? We do live in a very decrepit world, a world where people's minds are, they're pretty much sheeple. They're brought to wherever they're told to be brought to. And I love Boo's point about the forced vaccines and everything like that. And it's sad, one of my coworkers was not going to get the vaccine until they started saying, hey, we're not going to let people into concerts unless they get a vaccine card. Now, how far does this go? How far is this all going to go? That's my question. And I think that you bringing into like MLK and where does his assassination come into play? What's going to happen at the end of it all? Who's going to say what? And I think that you bring up some brilliant points here, and it's time for a world to wake up a little bit, and us to think for ourselves at times. And I think that that's the amazing part of it.
Thank you. I absolutely appreciate your comment. And you're right, man. I tell even my own kids, you don't have to think like me, but think. Use your head.
And just for those who don't know, Rhymer, could you just let everybody know on the air how many children you have?
10.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, did you hear? The man told you he has 10 children, okay? And this is the poetry that I guess comes from a father who's fathered 10 different children, which is truly amazing to me. So let me comment, because I want to get my little 2 cents in for my big brother Rhymer. Bro, you don't seem to realise, I don't think, how much I appreciate. You always talk about my quality of work, but let me tell you, man, you are an incredibly skilled lyricist. And as you and I always talk about in our private conversations, you keep it 100% fucking real, which is how poetry at its best should be represented. My favourite line, people wouldn't say it, but I will. The enemy within leaves the skyscrapers in vapors. You motherfucker, show me the vapors. Borders and the cell phone recorders are ready to follow your new world orders. I don't really think there's any more that needs to be said in terms of, and also, ladies and gents, I think it's quite important for you to acknowledge that Rhymer wrote this 45 minutes ago. This is not something that the man wrote 10 years ago. This is something that he wrote on the back of me basically giving him a kick and saying, hey, if you've got something on, on words and how words affect the world. And look at what he came up with. Pure, unadulterated truth, talent, flow, content that is something that when we talk about words that affect the world, these are those sorts of words. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you very much for contributing, Rama. That is a great piece of poetry, my man.
Absolutely. I do have one thing to say, though. I did not write this that short time ago. It was written. I wrote it in a thread in a group. So I wish I could write that fast, but I cannot. But I don't want to take credit for something I did not do. I wrote it.
No, fair enough.
Wrote it in a thread in a link.
On my page, it's come up 45 minutes ago, so that's why I said that. But that's cool. Good that I'm glad that you made that clear. But anyway, regardless of when you wrote it, as far as I'm concerned, fabulous piece of work, man. Truly, truly brilliant, and I couldn't be more appreciative of you bringing it to the show. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for the invite.
Cool, bro. All right, and gentlemen, I'm going to dive in quickly. Sorry for the experience, people. I'm just going to dive in really quickly and throw in. Sorry, I'm just going to wait and throw in my oh dear, it's terrible. And throw in my offering for the evening, if I may. All right. Just a very quick SoundCloud, as I say, because we've got a couple of other people's poems that definitely we want to read. But folks, this is my offering. I'm just going to put it into the chat so you can all see. Rhymer, I'll try and send it to you, but it's a SoundCloud, so you can listen anyway and hear it quite clearly. I'll just put you on hold, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, this is simply called Away with Words by Big Verge.
Away with Words. You know, yesterday, a young lady said, Big Verge, you really have a way with words. It was a web comment that she had left about a couple of lines in a poem of...
I'm just going to pause it, folks, because the interference is absolutely terrible there. So let me just pause it, and we'll bring it back to the top, hopefully.
I think what we'll do on this on Verge is go ahead and we'll mute both of us and just play it through, and then we'll bring ourselves back in.
Yeah, because it sounds awful, man. I'm like, there's so much, and it feels like it's coming from me, so I'm not quite sure why we've got all that interference. How do I rewind that though, Jay? Can I rewind it, or does it play from the beginning?
Yeah, just have to play it over again.
Okay, cool. Okay, folks, we're going to mute myself.
Away with Words. You know, yesterday, a young lady said, Big Verge, you really have a way with words. It was a web comment that she had left about a couple of lines in a poem of mine called The Test of Stress, a compliment primed by these Big Verge rhymes. We need to feed our minds with more than talk of war and crossing swords. A cool comment for sure, but the poem was more about a dick whose jaws made my anger soar to the point where war became the thing I saw. But moving on, I think her comment was wrong. I have a way with verse that deals in truth, like those who use herbs to calm their mood. So I guess she was right, because the lines that she liked were written to release what was swelling in me. A wish to see that arse white bleed, just like ladies do, periodically. Okay, here we go, because it's time to show the ways my words flow, just like the good times roll. But before I impart wordplay that is sharp, let me say this from my heart. I have a way with truth, because words I use are not always cool. Some have called them crude, and quite a few take the view that I'm an angry brute, whose words burst balloons and bubbles too. And as for the girls, well, I speak too much truth to suggest that I'm a dude who has a way with words. Not with sexy ladies who want to have some babies, but maybe, yes, just maybe, that's because Big Verge plays safely, because ladies' real Slim Shady can border on being crazy. See, I'm a crazy lyricist when it comes to flipping scripts. I flip them like a crip whose blood is different, kids. My words are used to sometimes shoot at targets marked like warrior sharks who have the heart to hunt in the dark. See, my words shed light on pointless fights, but always favor a green lightsaber, because my flavor is something to savor when I pepper Vader's inhaler with labor of that of a slayer, caped like that crusader who breaks terminators. I'll be back for you haters, because I'm an empire breaker as well as good neighbor. Don't cross me like faders, because your name ain't Rock Raider. R.I.P. to that man. Now you see, I'm advanced. Lyrically, I enhance the usage of verse through wordplay that works, not Kendrick Lamar. Big Verge ain't that hard. Wait a minute. That's farce. No diss to the youth, he's doing his due, but don't be fooled. My agent's status is way above players now claiming big fame when they lack the game to use words this way. Poems to raps that make campers mad. Yep, I am that man whose words overstand humanity's fall, so my words make the call for us to stand tall and use words like debaters whose values are greater than using end words just to stack paper. Is this what our words have now become worth? Don't try to play smart because your music charts. You can't be a star when Earth is where you're parked. To think that you are is clearly pure farce. Fame, fortune and greed has made currency fiends who now forsake truth just to look cool. Our words are a tool that when suitably used can, yes, make a difference to misinformed children. I defend to the end these things through poems that speak on the world, how people now hurt and things well observed that show why this girl was quite unreserved in suggesting that I have a way with words.
Oh, damn, Verge. I really like this. You actually bring something forward that I'm loving the line. Where is it? You think you're a star, but you live here on Earth. I love that line because the bottom line, people think they're bigger than what they are, and they sell us all these words that they expect us to buy. And frankly, are we buying them or are we not? Hopefully not everything is bought at face value, because it's usually not worth the paper it's written on. I think that you did an amazing job with this. Let me get you some comments on this one.
Thank you, Jay.
Yep, Kai.
Hey, baby.
Yeah, what'd you think?
I think this gentleman was on point. As a matter of fact, that point was explaining to the young lady that on the contrary, concerning this whole subject of having a way with words, and helping her to understand that I realize this world is full of the subliminal suggestion, but the strongest and the most potent subliminal suggestion you can give is always anchored on the words of truth, because they sink down like a sinker, and they stay steadfast forever and ever. Because the truth is the only thing that can stand alone, The lie always needs help from the truth. But it is the truth that will stand alone and will stand the test of time. So he was great. He was beautiful. I loved it.
Thank you very much, Shai. Thank you. I really appreciate that comment.
All right. Linda, what'd you think? Linda, are you on mute?
Yes, I was. Anyway, Big Verge, you know me. I'm always gonna say something nice about your stuff. You have a way with heart, Big Verge. You have a way with heart and with truth, and that is what I admire in you. I've never read something you've written that hasn't completely hit my heart with truth. And it's just your words are awesome, and you bring it to the table what you're trying to say, and you don't mince words. You tell it like it is, and I like that about you. It's just, let's say it like it is, Verge, and you know, I'd like to go on. I'd like to read this again. But as far as I'm concerned, you're the heart, Verge. You're just the heart. In comment.
Thank you so much, Linda. That's a really lovely, lovely comment. Thank you very much indeed. Jay,
I love you too, darling.
I think Randall's back as well, Jay.
Yeah, he is. He didn't get to hear it though, unfortunately. But I'm glad that you're back, Randall. If you want to read what Verge put out there, it's pretty damn amazing. We'll listen to it afterwards. Rima, what did you think about Verge's poem?
Well, I would say probably the two lines right here. I have a way with verse that deals in truth. That's Verge since I've known him. Everything I've heard him perform, and I say perform because he doesn't just read it. He really, really does get into it. He, you know, if people, you know, some people, they may not like his content, but the thing I like about Verge is he's like, well, they just go fuck themselves then, because he doesn't play to anybody's particular agenda. And I've always appreciated that about Verge, and that's why I was glad he hadn't let me know he was going to be on so I could bullshit with him. But, and never mind that point, you know, because he just is who he is and doesn't cater, and I like that. But then he's so clever. I mean, I wish to see that ass white bleed just like ladies do periodically. That shit, it is just clever. He's very clever. He's a word bender. And I absolutely got nothing but love and respect for Big Verge. Definitely.
Awesome.
Rima, you're just such a cool cat, and you know that we vibe like that. And now, as I say, finally, you get to hear me on air and be able to bullshit and tell me about my shitty voice as well, because my voice isn't like it was on the recording anymore. But it's, as I say, I can't thank you enough. Like I said, it's a mutual respect thing with you with regards to work, because you might not feel like you perform poems in the manner that I do, but as I said about your previous read, I thought you read it, and other people said so, you emphasize the quality of your verse in how you express certain words. But thank you very, very much for your comment. Jay, I presume you'll unmute the boss lady in charge and let Madam Boo have a few words on this part as well, and then we'll put yours on the board.
Yeah, I'm letting Boo Boo go ahead and comment next. Boo, what'd you think?
Well, you know, you can say, like, this is a Verge poem, you know, we'd know that, which everyone knows the truth, because words I use aren't always cool. Some have called them crude, and quite a few take the view, and I'm just an angry brute. And that's just funny, and you are clever, and you have so much personality and so much strength always in your words, but you're just not like that in just your writing. That's how you really are. Whether you get to be your friend or get to know you or talk to you on the phone, whatever, to know you are. That's just how you are. And it's like, take it or leave it. But you also at the same time have a big heart too, that maybe people don't see, that you maybe don't want them to. I don't want to make you embarrassed, but the whole thing is so straight up and honest and in your face. The same thing everyone always says. I mean, every one of these, I already hear a melody in my head. I hear the music in my head, which should go with this. I hope this is in your list of 10. If not, you should add it, because this is really great. You can't be a star. Everybody wants to be a star. Everybody wants their 15 minutes. Everybody thinks they have something to say, but not a lot of people have the balls to say it. And so, props to you, Big B. Dig it.
Thank you very much, Boo. And no, you're wrong. Of course, it's good to see that I'm a kind-hearted soul, but just be careful, because if you grab my heart in the wrong place, it might just grab you in a place that you don't want. That's all it is. I like to keep it as you know, as we said in the poem that I did a couple of weeks ago. I really do want to keep it real, but if you can't deal with the real, then you better not come around me, because I don't stand for that fake bullshit. I'm not about that, you know. And there's too many people in the world who are buying that, and they're faking the funk, as you know, is one of my phrases of the day. I can't have people faking the funk, because we've got enough leaders who are doing that. And we've now got people, just to be a little bit controversial, doing it with themselves in terms of what they're defining themselves as being. You know? Let's move on, because JC's got a poem. I'm sure he's got stuff for us to listen to as well this evening. So please, JC, get...
Absolutely. And I want to let everybody on the board who's listening on the board know that we only got about 14 and a half more minutes before we lose you guys. We will be reading more after we go off the air here, and also anything that's not read will be read on our house on Wednesday. So here we go. This is called the Warriors Quill, and I wrote this a while back, and it goes like this. Are you in? Such a simple question with 3 little words, words that can change the world. I stood on that sand dune as the Kuwaiti sun burned a hole through me, waiting for my turn to breathe in the smoke that painted the Baghdad skyline. I remember the sound, mortars exploding close enough to hear the whistle and feel the vacuum of incoming rockets. Yet that war never prepared me for the war I fight today. You who hear my words, you are the warriors. Each of you who take up a pen and paper, a keyboard and monitor, who write words that mean something, that change lives, that change the world. Yes, you poets, you are the warriors in this war. You are the ones that fight the battles. If only one poem you write changes just one life, then you have won a battle. Each battle that we win, we turn the tide of this war we fight together. No word is irrelevant. The power you wield is greater than any mortar or rocket. We fight for the lives of people. We fight against injustice. We fight for those who do not have a voice. Join me, warriors. Know that you are making a difference. Know that each word you release into this world is your sword, and that you are severing the bond that the enemy has over his victims. Together we are unstoppable, undeniable. Know this. We have bravely in brevity, power in prose, victory in verse, and won't stop until the world knows. So, are you in? End poem.
Wow, wow, wow. JC, fantastic, man. And talk about right on topic. This is words that affect the world should represent. I can't commend you enough for this piece of poetry. This is totally fantastic. And I don't have to affirm it to you, but you know for sure that I, for one, am definitely in with this. This stands for everything that this show represents. I'm sorry for the interference, guys, but this show stands for everything that this show represents today and for all future shows that we are going to be doing with regard to On the Verge with JC and Big Verge. I'm absolutely speechless. It's fantastic, man. Really, really love it. Great piece of work, bro. I'm going to bring Linda in and let Linda have the next comment. Please, Linda, what do you think? Yourself there, Linda?
Yeah, I'm here. That was lovely, JC. What power you put into those words. And yes, I understand what you're saying. Our words are strong, and we can make people love, and we can make them fear and be in sorrow, and even being hate. But we have the power in our words to fight battles. But I give kudos to you guys that were actually there fighting battles. You guys fight and when you write your words to your feelings, those are the greatest poems written. I think anyway. JCA, this was a beautiful tribute to your not only your art but of your brotherhood. I really liked it. Thank you for sharing it.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you, Linda. Great comment. You will be on hold, but please don't run away. Chai, my lady, over in Washington. Come on, sweetheart. Tell me what you've got to say about that fantastic piece of work. Please tell me something good.
Of course I'm going to tell you something good, because poetry is good. Listen, I believe that in this world we're born with free will. I've read that. And it says that in this world we're either part of the problem or part of the solution. And as soldiers, we need to stay strong, for without the truth, we have a world of chaos. And once we use the word, just like Bruce Lee said, if you want to learn how to swim, you need to become the water, understand the water, and be the water. And so we become the word. And as those soldiers, our tool that enlightens the world to change for the better, for progress, is poetry. And I commend you. That was a beautiful poem, and it relates to all of us, and it touched my heart.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, come on, Jay. You've got to give back some love there. That's a lot of love that Chai gave you to Bruce Lee. That is some high praise. That's a great line that she's mentioned there about becoming the water. That poem, I have to just say that. Chai, I'm going to put you on hold. Thank you for the comment. It was great. I just have to say, it's like off the back of Rhymer's, mine, that was like the final trifecta slam dunk. That was a great piece of work. And because of that, let's get Rhymer's view of it now, because I hope he had a chance to read it as well as hear it, because I did send him the Rhymer?
Yeah. Well, I will say this. The beginning of the right, I really appreciate it, man. I've got one son who was in Afghanistan. I've got a daughter who was in Iraq twice. My 17-year-old just signed up for the Marine Corps. So I really appreciated that, and I appreciate you. And then it, like, crescendoed from there. So this has got to be my last comment, because I got to go tuck my babies in. And I was just going to tuck them in and go to bed. But this was so powerful that now I'm going to tuck them in and go kick the shit out of somebody, because you literally had this, like, it really was electric. An electric read and write, and very, very powerful. And you know what? I thought it was excellent. I mean, and the way you commanded it when you read it, I used to be on shows and I'd have to read people's poems. If I ever had a chance and had to read this, there's no way I would have done it the justice. Yeah, you just nailed it. Excellent. Read and write.
Thank
Rhymer,
you.
sorry, before you come in, Jay. Rhymer, thank you for your time, bro. I know you're a busy man, and as everybody's heard tonight, 10 children would indicate that, yeah, you've got some children to be put into bed. So, thank you for coming on, bro. Don't be a stranger. Make sure you join the group. We want to hear more from you, and we definitely want more of your poetry. Thanks again, Rhymer, for coming on.
Hey, thank you. It was good to hang out. God bless. I love you guys, and have an amazing night.
Thank you. Take care, bro.
Thank you for calling. Appreciate it.
Okay. Who have we got? We've got Boo, haven't we? Boo. Let's see what you got to say about that.
Yeah, Randall's here. We'll get him in a second.
Randall's going to be right after you, Boo. I'm going to get Randall to comment. So go ahead. You make your comment now.
Oh, me or
Boo,
Randall? Me, right?
Yeah,
you
Boo. We want you now. Yeah, you Boo, please.
I'm sorry. I'm tripping. I have like a sty in my eye and it's bugging the shit out of me, so I can't really not seeing very good. But anyway, the way you read it was so, empowering. I want to get my lighter and just light my lighter and put it up in the sky. I remember that you read this before a couple times. I mean, like you nailed it, and you speak for poets. And if I didn't believe what you had to say before, I believe it after that, because that was so convincing, so powerful. And I just want to stand up and clap and just be like, fuck yeah, I thought it was amazing. One of your best poems, Jay. I think this one was on the front page already, right?
No, it hasn't been.
Oh, shit. I'm going to nominate it then. Really great.
There you go. Yeah, definitely deserves the front page pick as well. Thanks, Boo. I'll just put you on hold for a sec, and we're going to get around this comment as well, Jason, because I'm afraid that poem has to have everybody comment on. Randall, thanks for coming back. Give us your thoughts on that rather fantastic poem from JC, please.
No, thank you so much, guys. Jay, marvelous piece, brother, and yours too, V. Both those pieces were extraordinary. Jay reminds me of the rebel call at the president gave during the movie Independence Day after the aliens kicked our ass, rallied everybody up. And you're right, brother. Those swords are meant to claim a victory to a war that's already been won. We just need to stand up and claim it. Well done, brother.
Thank you so much.
And thank you, Randall, for commenting on my poem as well. It's just we've just had 3 back-to-back, I think, that have just been just astonishing, like with Rhymer, myself, and this poem by, like I said, it felt like it was the slam dunk of all slam dunks to finish those that section of the show. Jay, it was just great. Who have we got up next? Whoever's going to come up after that, that's going to be hard to follow.
Very cool.
Jay?
All right, I'm putting Linda's on the board right now. So if you can go ahead, get.
Okay. This is in dedication of Laughing Soul. It's called Intoxicated. First, a glance from across the room, then a smile. You approach me so suave, and you sit down beside me. You reach for my hand, and I pull back reluctant to give you an opening yet. You ask if I'd like something to drink. I replied yes with an innocent drawl, so as not to be overly wanting. You call over to the waitress and whisper in her ear. Keeping secrets, I say? No, he nods and laughs a bit. Just wait, you'll see, is what he said. Then we sat back, looking into each other's eyes. I remember your eyes were so very blue, a Mediterranean blue. They hypnotized me. We searched each other's souls till the waitress returned with our drinks and one long-stemmed, very red rose. How romantic, I thought, but just a tad cliche. I thank you. This time when he reached for my hand, I replied in kind, and we sat holding hands and sipping our drinks. My name is Kristen, I said to him, just to break the silence. Then I winked at him, letting him know I was pleased. He replied his name was Marcus and returned the wink, which sent a thrill through my heart. As we sat back at the table, he, after several moments, moved his hand down to my lap, massaging my thighs with his strong hands. I was surprised at first, but after a moment, enjoyed the feel of his gentle touch. His eyes rolled back into my eyes rolled back into my head, and I sighed. Just then I mentioned that I needed to be excused to use the ladies' room, not just to relieve myself, but to catch my breath. I was finding myself quite excited by his touch. When I was done, I exited the ladies' room and stopped to adjust myself when from behind I was grabbed. It didn't take very long to realize it was Marcus. His strong arms wrapped around me, and he kissed me on the back of my neck, which indeed gave me thrills up my spine. I tried to turn, but he held me so tight that all I could do was surrender in his arms, and I liked it. After several moments, he spun me around and continued to kiss me on the mouth at first, his soft tongue inviting its way into my yearning lips to dance with my tongue in revelry. Then his kiss lingered, then down my neck to the back of my collarbone, where at that point I became like putty in his hands. Just then the lights started blinking to announce that the music would be starting soon. So we walked back to our table hand in hand. Then the music started to play, fast at first, too fast to dance, so we waited at our oasis in the dark and listened. The anticipation of dancing with him became overwhelming. My thighs trembled and my heart pounded with delight. We listened to the perfect song, and song was being played. Marvin Gaye, Let's Get It On. So we danced, we made love on the dance floor. He twirled me first into his arms, then slid his hands down my body, then back up again while I played with his luscious ebony hair. He held me so tight by the small of my back, I could feel his thunder, and by this time we were sweating. He was sweating a manly musk that lingered in my nose for a while. He was sweating. I was glistening. We were gleaming. And not knowing anybody else was watching, we touched each other in heavenly bliss. We danced to the beat of a different drummer. Then song after song, we continued our mating rituals. We shook and gyrated about the floor, and kissed each other sweetly, then not so sweetly. And I was intoxicated by you, and our lust became more than we could handle. And then the music stopped, and I sighed. In poem. Hello?
Yeah, we're here, Linda. You just we were all on
You kind of took the words out of our mouth here. You can't let us speechless.
What can we say?
Oh, okay.
You know, what did we say
yeah,
to that?
I went a little.
Like, you went
I
went
went a little out of my box.
You went a lot. You went a lot. That was like, I mean, I did private message you saying I wasn't sure how this related to the topic, but it doesn't matter. To me, this is one of those epic, like, I don't know, it's like the power of intoxication, I guess is what I would say. The power of passion, the power of lust, the power of love, the power of romance. There's all these things in the poem. And it's epic. It's an epic poem in terms of its length.
Thank you, Verge.
And what it is, it's not like, you know, I'm not lying, you know, I'm not going to lie to you. It's like, this is really, like, epic. It was just like, wow. I'm trying to think of one of those famous, like, romance novelists. I'm sure one of the other commenters will be able to give us a name. But you know what I mean? It's like a passage out of something really like a real romance novelist, like, pride and joy, that kind of passage. So on that note, I shall pass the comments on to Steve. So what do you think, Jay?
Wow.
I don't know if his name was Marcus or Fabio. I don't know.
You said it, brother. You said it.
Yeah, someone told me the other day, you know, if you're going to write sultry, it needs to be hot. So I think that you absolutely, you know, that was the point. You made the point. You made the point of it, and that's what it ended up being. Bottom line is, if it's going to change one person's life, there you go. You know, if the words, you know, can be anything, you can bring them forth to anything. I think it's just absolutely brilliant.
Thank you, Jay.
And it certainly, and what I like about its hotness was, it wasn't lewd or crude or rude in any shape or form. It was just very, very like there was passion in it, right? But it was that nice, clean passion, if you know what I mean. But on that note, let me pass it over to another queen of the passionate vibe. Let's see if our boss lady in charge has some words to say about it. Boo! What did you think of that?
I was like, Linda. I was like, wait, that's Linda? You surprised me, Linda. I was like, where's she going?
I do got it in me.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. I have a boner, Linda.
Miss Boo.
I mean, whoa.
Wow.
It was so sensual and so, like, you really went outside your box. I mean, big time.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. This is really
That's
good.
Cool.
And I've never fight like this. I'm almost in shock, but you nailed it, and that goes to show you. And you didn't rhyme, so I'm so used to your spot-on rhymes, and this one didn't rhyme. It didn't need to rhyme because I need a shower, Linda.
But I kind of wish that oh God, no, I can't remember. Me, Bella. Why can't I remember her name?
Oh, Bella, yeah.
She's... And Laughing Soul, that was for you, because I know you liked it.
And I left your picture on the board there, Linda.
And this is the thing that's got me twisted. Like, this is for Laughing Soul? I mean, like JC said, I thought it was for Fabio. I thought it was for, dude obviously needed to get the love, right? But obviously it's for love, it's not fair enough. Listen, we're going to move on because time is running up. So I've got two final comments for you, Linda. I think we have to leave Chai to the end. So Randall.
Randall.
Yeah. This is well, first off, the imagery is quite enthralling, so you bring us all into this. And I agree with V. This is quite intoxicating and incredibly well crafted to keep us all, well, wet, I guess. But I think the closing reminds me of an old Doors song when you close this. When the music's over, turn out the lights. And I thought it was a marvelous job, dear. Well done.
Right on. Thanks, Randall.
You need the kiddie pool, Randall?
Need the what?
Please, let's behave. Kiddie pool. Behave, people, behave. Let me just unmute Shy, because I'm going to give the best comment of all of this. So unmute Shy.
In the famous words of James Brown. She went over there to the radical side, babe. That was one of my girl. Do you know that was one of my first challenges in poetry and stuff like that? So you're walking on the wild side with Miss T, and I'm loving it. But you know, I like the erotica. Let me tell you what the erotica actually does for us as people. It takes us out of the monopoly of this world's stress. It takes us to a different place inside of our heads so we can take a moment to relax and get away from the stress. And that's the reason why I like the erotica, because it cools people down.
Right on, G.
Great job.
I love you, baby.
I love you too, girl.
Right on. I'm glad you guys all got a kick out of that.
Yeah,
I've been holding on to it for a while.
Do it again.
I don't think kick is quite what we got out of that, Linda. We got a bit more than a kick, okay? that took people to some very interesting places, I'm pretty sure. So, a real cool piece to drop in the mix. I like the fact that it was a little, but boy, certainly one of those points that has a lot of power. I've just seen JC posted Fabio in the chat. Those are
I thought Melinda was reading somebody else for a minute. I was like, whoa.
There you go.
So Fabio's got the on the Verge show, which is an absolute disgrace. But I can work with it.
Right.
It's all good. He gets his shine just like everybody else. Jay, I believe we've got Boo, maybe one of our last poems. We haven't got much more time. But let's get.
I think what we'll do is we'll do Boo, and then we'll do Rob next, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course, man. No, I'm happy to continue because obviously we have the air time. So yeah, go ahead, bro.
We can keep going.
Boo, you're up. I'm just going to mute everybody else, folks. So don't think that you need to disappear. We're just muting you off for Boo's rendition. So Boo, when you're ready, go ahead, sweetheart.
Poetic text, and this is like for all the mentors that I've met here, sort of. Okay, so it goes like this. My inspiration lies within ingenious palms of rather talented poetic hands, drip like sugared syrup from a cheap store-bought wine on the bare naked floor into a starving artistic mouth. Punch-drunk and intoxicated on verse, drink up the flames of inquisitive passion. Fool me with your brilliance. Dip the quill, brand me. Rebirth unbound and mentor skilled grace, the bond that's difficult to define in stanzas. Unified poetically, we crack the mold. Baby steps taken, arrived at the same destination, rebuilt constellations in my eyes, and tucked the moon between dreams. No longer will I bleed from scars of fallen promises or gaslight galaxies, because the universe is ours. More than just a blank, pristine page, mutually kissed with eloquent words, together was a stunning masterpiece. A twisted compliment makes fingertips blush. Speak our own unique language. United, we redefine art. We are poetry without words. End poem.
Jay, come on, man. That's your partner in crime.
Oh yeah, this is phenomenal. This is like everything that you want to see in a poem itself. I mean, bottom line is she's giving respect to those people who have put words into her life that have built her to who she is today. If she didn't have those words from these individuals, who's to say that she would be with us today? Who's to say she would be part of this today? There would be no La Cosa Nostra. There would be no Mrslilboo. There would be a Boo somewhere because there's always been a Boo in her family. I wonder who that Boo is, Boo. But bottom line is she wouldn't be our Boo. She wouldn't be that person that has touched our lives and that has made our lives better. And that's where all the appreciation and the love comes in. And we really appreciate you, Boo, for all you are and who you are and what you've become.
Oh, thank you. I'm burning up, sorry.
I have to reiterate those words, and I also have to quickly shout out. I think I'm going to shout out everybody bar the LCN family, because those of us who are part of the extended family know that this poem has to go to UJC, AP, GTL, Rick, Bella, Lizzie, Racantour. There you go, ladies and people that clearly have been a massive inspiration for that poem, which I also very much enjoy. On that note, I think we have to now let Randall have the next comment. So I'm going to unmute you, Randall. Please feel free to tell us what you thought about.
Yes, the word phrasing is marvelous here. There's some stunning lines here. And rebuilt constellations in my eyes and tucked the moon between dreams. That is just one of the heavy pictures in this piece here. This is the gift of a poet that gives back the words to another, which is the reason why we're here and why we have such a high accountability. And the poetry is language and elegance here. But the art of it is in your closing words. Because poetry is not just an art form that we write. It's a breath we're supposed to breathe. And it's the breath of poetry that keeps us going here. And poetry is in all things. And we just happen to stress it in the words here. Incredibly elegant and a marvelous tribute, dear. Well done.
Thank you, Randall.
You're welcome.
And I will go on and say, Linda, what did you think about this one?
Yeah, Boo, what a sweet poem. And, you know, there's kind of like a theme tonight of us speaking of what our poetry means to us and how we get inspired by it. And your poem shows that. I thought it was brilliantly written, and you had some great metaphoric phrases in here. Baby steps taken, arrived at the same destination, rebuilt constellation in my eyes. Just brilliant. I really like this piece. I think the imagery was lovely, and you really explained your depth and your yearning for your poetry. So yeah, really good job, Boo.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, when I first heard here, I was really like pathetic. I mean, I was terrible. I mean, if you just look back, you'll see. But like, I just want to say thanks to all the mentors, everybody who taught me stuff, and that's all of you here, everybody here. And I've only gotten better because of you and because of knowing you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Linda, for that really lovely, heartwarming comment as well. I really could not agree more. And thanks, Tracy, for coming with me. Of course, I was on mute talking away like an idiot before. But yeah, Boo, I listen. For all your manic, crazy ways, there is no doubt that you put your heart and soul into this group and into building and lifting people with their craft and their expression. And long may it continue, and long may you also grow with your art and your craft, because you are quite needing mentorship in terms of my viewing of the poetry that I see from you. You write some very, very deep material, and keep on writing and keep on helping this group to grow. Okay? If you were helping it to grow, you have to bring in Shai for a comment on this poem as well.
Thank you. Thanks, Verge.
Very sweet, Boo.
She?
Yeah, she.
Now, she came through the front door. You know, she didn't go through the back. She came through the front door. And that's a good thing, because she meant what she said. She said what she meant, and you know what? That settles it. She came in with an expression of blending herself with others and others with herself, and expressing in all things, indeed, we are one. And that's a beautiful way of expressing the fact that we can, and what's possible, and the probabilities of what is and everything that can be. She's a great role model. The first thing I've noticed about you within the last 2 days as being an empath is my spirit has told me that Boo has a beautiful soul.
Oh.
And I am very glad to meet such a person, because they are a rarity on earth.
Oh.
I love the poem. You pass it on. Each one teach one. So as she passes the torch to us, we pass the torch to her, and it goes around. But you know, that flame don't ever go out, so that's good. Beautiful.
Thank you, G.
We're all running around carrying the Olympic torch.
That's right.
And I was amen to that comment, Shai. Couldn't agree more. Each one teach one. That's what we should be doing. We need to ensure that this is part of the process of whatever period of our lives remain, because they are trying, the people in power seem to be trying desperately to stop us from teaching one another and to build a better society, because they seem to want to destroy the society that, well, certainly pre-COVID existed. So on that note, JC, we have, I think, Rob, you said Rob's poem up as well, and I believe that will be the last poem for the month, so can you get that on the board?
Yes. Hold on 1 second. Let me get to the
Thank you, everybody.
webpage. And, all right, I do have the audio for this, so here we go.
The cost of writing dreams. He shook hands with a purple coat lady in a beer house on top of Asphalt's Hill, a wax-sealed deal where she exchanged a golden pen which inked dreams in the sleep of those yet born, agreeing to meet under the next blood moon at a cathedral where cracked and crumbling tombstones stood, surrounded by heaps of shattered glass, and limbs rose through soil of trench-dug graves covered in weaving ivy and rotting pine leaves, littered cigarette stumps, mixing gravel and schist, sliced by brick red stones, scattered across a path, scalding hot from baking in a crematory oven, in the circling mist of hysterical madness, spread across the dark shimmering topaz. Under that balloon blood moon they met, and the purple-cloaked lady cut out his tongue as payment, for their hands shook agreement, while also casting a spell turning him invisible. He spent the remaining days and nights of his life writing pages and pages, inked by the golden pen in foggy-tuned silence, alone in the pinstriped confinement of his room, never to speak or to be seen again. Those pages paint the dreams of all who read them, even after his lonely life met death's bed of eternal rest.
Wow. Rob always takes us to some very interesting places with his word choices and how he conveys his message. He knows that I'm always a little critical of the abstract nature of what he presents, but it does not detract from the quality of what he tries to say in the way he conveys it. The title for me, again, defines everything. The cost of writing dreams. Well, as the topic of the show has defined tonight, the power of words that touch the world, there is a cost for passing the truth. And we have to recognize that and pay that price. And to take a quote from Chai before I pass it to you, JC, as James Brown also said, you have to be prepared to pay the cost to be the boss. And that was in its own way, JC, what do you think?
Well, bottom line is, for everybody who didn't know, I got to meet James Brown before he passed away, which was an absolute privilege when I was in Augusta, Georgia. I was driving a soldier. We ran a medevac mission. I was driving a soldier to the private airport side of the house. I said, wouldn't it be funny if we met James Brown? Because he lived in Augusta. And sure enough, if his entourage didn't come in, I took the soldier. We introduced ourselves, and we got to have a good sit down with James Brown and his entourage, which was pretty cool.
Wow.
Now back to this poem. Poem. I think there's a pretty interesting one part of it, and I looked at lit cigarette stumped, mixed in gravel and schist, sliced by brick red stones. Now,
there's a commonality here, and he's taking ordinary things, and which are pretty interesting, and turning them into something extraordinary. Because schist itself, and I'm familiar with schist in the gem world, in the mineral world. It is an actual matrix rock. And if anybody knows what a matrix rock is, it's rocks that actually hold something more expensive, hold gemstones and hold stuff like that. And what I find interesting is they're often garnets are found within schist, just the perfect red gemstone garnets. And ultimately, this is a sad story towards the end when the person does end up alone and end up into himself, but he keeps on writing and writing and writing. And ultimately, even though he may be alone, what say his words are not going to become immortal? What say his words are not going to touch other people? What say his words aren't going to go on from that point and reach to a greater boundary? There's just so much to this, and it entails so much. It's just something that you can't put one finger onto it. You can't point it at one particular point, because it holds so many points together. And I think that's what words do. And good solid words, if they are put down in a certain direction, they are going to speak different things to different people. And it's if you can change someone's world, that's when it really makes a difference. And like I said, I enjoyed this write. I love that you mentioned of schist in it, so that's where I gravitated to.
Very, very interesting comment, man. Very interesting comment. People who will give us an interesting comment. Randall, what did you think of what you heard?
This is lyrical magic. To take a simple items, as Jay say, and to use that type of phrasing gave it quite a surrealistic feel, and captured quite an elegance here. I thought it very captivating, incredibly well crafted.
Thank you, Randall. That's as expected, a very interesting comment. Let's keep the interesting comments running. Chai, what did you think of what you heard?
I think it was interesting wordplay. I'd like to get a chance to check that one out. I don't know where the poster going just yet or where you posted at, but I'd like to check that out a little bit more, because in each one of those phrases, I was trying to, share my imagination with it and give it a picture, because that's what I usually do. My imagination is over the moon anyway. And, I got a few flashes from it, and then I wanted to put it all together to give it a ending or what's that word I'm looking for? To wrap it all up together. And I'd like to hear or read that again. But I liked it. It's like several bullets in there. Wordplay was all over the place. I loved it.
Yeah, definitely agree with you. That's what I'm saying, is that his use of language is quite, it's very different, but it's quite extraordinary in its difference. It's not, people that write in an abstract way and you go, well, that doesn't make any sense. But it's not always like that with him. It's like his words have a meaning and a context, but it's like you have to almost decipher a bit of a code sometimes. So I very much appreciate your comment, and we will leave the last comment to the lady in charge, Madam Boo. What did you think of Mr. Cohen's poem?
Well, I think there's a couple of things going on here, but to me, I see the power of the pen, and that even with his tongue cut out or whatever, he's still going to keep writing. He's still going to keep going. And I also see like a lot of times you're not really known or famous until after you're dead, and maybe he likes saying that. And then littered cigarettes and mixed gravel, and it's just like no one pays attention to the beauty of poetry or words. And then he's still remaining days he's still there, still writing. So it goes to show you can take can't really take the poet out of the poetry out of the poet, no matter what you do. And it's so unique. Like everybody said, the word choices. You really have to read this a couple of times, and then you see something else every time you read it. You see something else, and these pages paint the dreams of what led them. So, like all of us put our words on the page, and they're all in our mind, our dreams, our hearts, what we think. So that's where the common bond is. So, I'd have to read what I can do, but I think The Cost of Writing Dreams is an interesting title because he paid the price ultimately for writing his dreams. Here is what I see too. So, yeah, a lot going on here, but really interesting.
Without a shadow of a doubt, as everybody has suggested, Mr. Cohen clearly he has a very interesting and quite a twisted mind in terms of how his expression of his thoughts are then transmitted to pen, to paper. He has a very unique way of expressing himself, which I think is it's an admirable trait, and as I've said before, when I look at the views that Rob's poems get, he gets a lot of people that read his stuff. So I was there as not messed up. I was there as abstract as they're thinking it's in, or they just get things quicker than I do. Or maybe they're reading it, maybe it's one person reading it 500 times because they didn't get it the first time. You know what I mean? It has that kind of power to it.
That's where the abstract comes in handy.
Yeah, that's exactly, because abstract can make a person click on the poem 5 times rather than, this was a big Verge poem, we got exactly what he said, or this was a child poem, we got exactly what she meant. It's not like that. It's really, his stuff is really, really interesting. So it's never, and for Robert, if you ever, when you do listen to the show, don't ever think it's me trying to put down your work of choices. It really isn't that. It's just me saying that for me, being the type of writer that I am, which is a straight, blunt, in-your-face type of writer, this stuff is a little bit hard for me to absorb. That's all. It's not a critique at all, because as I said, their own, and nobody will ever really be able to define what makes others appreciate their work. It's just some people have that knack, and some people don't have that knack. God, we've got a whole heap of noise going on in the back there, folks. I don't know what that is, but anyway, Jay, what are we doing now? Because time has run. We're after 12 here, so anything else you want to do, or?
Well, we got 4 more poems, but we got 4 more poems. I know, Boo, but you know what? Lizzie was on the board earlier. I think we should go ahead and do her piece. Definitely.
Well, if we can, we'll do all 4. I haven't heard that. If people can stay on the line, it'd be great, because I think we've got some great commenters tonight. Yeah.
We really do. Sure, Boo.
Go ahead, boss lady.
I just want to tell Chi that I'm going to send her the link, and all she has to do is click on it with her finger and then apply to join the group so I can let her in.
Okay, sweet.
You got to okay.
Okay. You got that, Char?
Thank you.
Chi? Okay, Bruce.
That's okay. I'm used to it. You can call me wherever you want. Just call me late for dinner. Okay?
Mama T. I got a ticket to ride, and I really don't care. You understand me now? I'm a hippie, so I lay back. Ticket to ride, you don't care.
Could I just ask? I'm going to go for Chai Chi then, if that's what it is. I'll drop both. Chai Chi. What part of America are you originally from? Because you clearly are from Washington.
Washington, D.C. That's where I was born and raised at. I was
really?
I was one of the people who were there for the march. Martin Luther King. My roots go way back as being a soldier on paper and on foot.
Indeed. No, well, the only reason I ask is because you have to me, I'm English. You have a little bit of a southern twang. That's why
I still do have a twang. My mama raised me in Washington D.C., but her twang comes from Georgia. We are Georgia.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I lived nearly half my life in the Georgia Lina area, so I know that well.
Them women love.
So did you pick up on the twang as well, Jay?
We all know. Georgia teachers.
No, but did you pick up on the twang as well, JC? Because I picked up on it really early.
What
don't touch yet. Just wait.
What do you think?
All I heard was Deep South. That's all I heard. I didn't hear any Washington D.C. at all. I was like, this woman can't be from Washington.
The way they spoke that language in the house that made the difference of how it came out.
Absolutely.
And we was Georgia in the house, and we was living in D.C.
Cool, I got you. All right, James. Go ahead, bro. Let's get the next poem up if you want. You said Lizzie, yeah?
All right. Boo's going to read the next one for us. It is by Lizzie. Go ahead, Boo. Boo, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry. I was trying to be.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Liz.
I'm trying not to chat you this evening. If it's working, not sure. But, okay. Even though I had no coffee today, just in case. Okay. Like Lizzie, I decided that. What's that, a rock up there, Jay? Oh, that's weird. Okay.
That's that's schist. That's schist with an emerald in it.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, okay.
Okay. This is from Luscious Lizzie. Wear words like scarlet armor. We are born and labeled by others, branded like cattle, a scarlet embroidered emblem etched upon our very flesh. We carry our mark, as did Cain. Wear this marking like a crown, a golden shield of armor. Hold it close as you would a brother by blood, lest it used against you in battle. 'Tis this mark that enholdens us as making us stronger than others, or in battling out from our mother's womb until the day we fall wayside like drunken men. Let the scarlet letter shine. Be the bastard or the whore. Stand firm and let it not break you. Fall not to the weighted language that spills from the rotted lips as they lay on the ground at your feet, choking up dirt you kicked. Their tongues will dry and wither, hailing that one who surpassed all trials, standing adorned with scarlet crown. Ooh, and poem.
This was interesting.
I see a big bucket.
You would. I'm going to go to Chai, first of all. I want to know what Chai thought about that poem. I know you're not able to see everything, but you caught some of the imagery, I hope, in the reading. What do you think, Chai?
I wish I could have saw it. I read it. I wish I could have saw it and read it a little bit more, but I see a combination of things that are painting a complete picture. And I was trying to catch on to all of the different phrases, something with a sword. Okay.
A scarlet letter.
I believe that the poet was trying to paint a picture, and that's beautiful. Because I love it when they do stuff like that, because it's just like watching TV for me. I actually watch TV in my head when I hear a poem, and I like that. I like it. I like it because it's more than just words. My ears get a touch of it, and my inner, how they say third eye gets the TV screen, and I get to play it out just like I'm watching TV. And when you can project that type of creativity by the stroke of a pen, you've gone further than just being a writer. You have become an entertainer. And that's beautiful. You're going to the next level. I like it.
Very cool comment. I like that comment. I like that a lot. Thank you. We will go to Randall and see what Randall has to say about that particular poem. What did you think, Randall?
Yeah, this is a poet's war chat. For a long, long time, if you were to tell somebody that you are a poet, they'd laugh at your face. And if this piece hits everybody, then you are. And that's the Scarlet Crown, because we write in blood. And to kick dirt back on as they wither before us, because the words, the power and the strength of the words are quite phenomenal. That's why in the beginning he said, let there be, and there was. That's how strong they are. Being in that image, we're given a similar power to build up or destroy with it, and the accountability that goes along with it. And true poets feel it in blood. And that's that Scarlet Crown there. This is a Warriors chat, and I really love this piece here. Well done. I noticed all of these tonight, of the ones that I was able to catch, had similar themes. Like yours, V, was incredibly intelligent bullets with butterfly wings. And the different ones that we've shared tonight encase that power of a poet and our accountability and what we're supposed to be doing and why we do this. And in a lot of cases, it's on a battlefield and what we've given up in sacrifice to do this through all the years to hone this craft. And I say well done to all of you, because this is a poet's creed. Well done.
Randall, as ever, such an eloquent and thoughtful comment. Thank you for, again, appreciating the moral code by which we stand by. We stand by the moral code that most people have real issues standing up for. I think, again, to just revisit your piece earlier today, or earlier in the show, it also exudes, as I said, there's an eloquence in the articulation of our thinking. And like you said, we write in blood. It is not as simple as, oh, you just write a few clever words, so what? No, it's not that. It's not that at all.
And I say something, V.
Yeah, please.
Because she does something incredible here. She writes a prophecy. And I don't know how many caught that, but maybe because I'm tuned to this type of things here, I don't know. But as they lay on the ground at your feet, choking upon dirt you kicked, their tongues will dry and wither. Those words in the blasphemy against the poet that has been for all these years in the suppression, the paradigm shift that's coming on a new vibrational frequency, the poetry is going to come back alive, and the art of the language will happen again. And poets will become world mentors and teachers again of the eloquence of this language here. And this is a prophecy stating that, whether she's aware of it or not, because this is what's coming. It's part of the paradigm shift, and it's happening on a global level right now.
I so love when you break down the shift, the societal shift that is coming, certainly from your perspective. And I hope you're right. I really do, because there is a distinct need for that societal shift to occur, and for people like the poets in particular to be the new breed of teachers, to be the new breed of leaders. And this goes beyond our form of poetry. It goes to the whole hip-hop generation. It goes to the whole rock generation of writers, all the artists, because I know Chai said that she appreciated the fact that she felt there was a level of entertainment in I think Rob's poem, but I really think there needs to be that distinction now between the entertainers and the artists, because the artists are the true teachers. The entertainers are there for people's enjoyment. We are there to edify people's minds, to uplift their awareness, their very social conscience.
We need to be cautious of the actors.
Yes.
Because they tell a vision. That's why we watch TV. And what happens? You tune into a channel. This is what the old Druid magicians used to do. And when you tune into a channel, what happens? You get programmed. You have to be cautious of the actors and come back to the vitality of the original art of what it is to be human. And the expressions of love live in light at much higher frequencies. And that's how the darkness is subdued. It's part of taking it back and the Great Awakening.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more. And I have to say, you used a very, very important word, frequencies. I was speaking to an elder gentleman about a year ago, actually, about this same thing, where he was talking about the reason that the youngsters are having a problem with a lot of the things that we have passed down to them is because all of a sudden their frequency has been. It's like there's an interference, much like a lot of the shows, unfortunately, tonight. But there's a level of interference in terms of what they've been fed. It may well be the technology, it may well be the internet, it may well be 5G. Who knows? But what I can say is
the airwaves are contaminated, and they're contaminated at much lower foreboding frequencies. That's why there's so much bitterness and hate and anger and prejudice and rah. Okay. The higher hertz, especially in the 425 hertz range, is where cathedral music, where your symphonies are written, and these are in the higher strings. These frequencies are incredibly healing, which is one of the things we need. People don't realize they oscillate in different frequencies, and the frequency needs to be elevated. Yes, dear.
Isn't it 500 the frequencies of 500 or higher? They say like you can program your dreams. I read that.
Yes, you can. Lucid dreaming. I'll tell you something else for those that are in the know. Be cautious of the mask that you wear because it's just a cattle brand anyway. But there are fibers on nanotechnologies and Morgellons disease, and Boo, you're aware of this here, that they're finding out that our synthetics alter DNAs in these things. That's what this whole pandemic is about. But the higher frequencies they're finding out will heal the synthetic intruders that they're trying to put in us through chemtrailing and through other means here, until we completely take this back. So they are healing frequencies. This is why your dark music is at lower frequencies, and they put curses on it before it's even released because of the MK Ultra, the subduing effect that it has on our psyche. So it's up to us to recognize these things and take these things back for ourselves and get healthy and wean ourselves from the tech, from the big pharma and all the other things that plague us as a species.
Yeah. If you listen to delta waves when you go to sleep.
No, it's a very serious topic as well, and I think that it's one interestingly enough.
Most people don't realize where we truly are in the scheme of things. And for those who are aware of the biblical, we are in the last chapters on the paradigm of something that's coming since creation that's mind-boggling. But man has to shift to get ready for what's coming here. It'll be too much. Revealing of a lot of things is coming out on political levels and all the other levels of how humanity's been treated and those behind it here. But it's how we condition ourselves for it and what we're going to stand for. Either instead of being our brother's keeper, to be our brother's brother as opposed to the enemy. And that involves all the creation and the pollution that's coming on. So, it sees the kingdom by force, as they say. And every step you take, claim it, because that was your God-given right, imager of the living God. That's the whole point of being here. It's to claim it. And you can stand up and claim a war that's already been won, yet the battle needs to go through its motions, and that's what we're dealing with right now.
I think that that's so true because, again, I saw something that was really disturbing, and unfortunately we're sort of running a little bit short of time, otherwise we continue this conversation. But just to kind of put my final point there, I saw something the other day that really left me incredibly disturbed, where I believe it was an African rugby player got killed in Hawaii. It's a story that hasn't really reached a lot of mainstream media because obviously it's one of those, we don't really want to go there scenarios. But the bigger issue for me was when I saw the comments on the Instagram feed, because his partner was white and they had children. But the crazy part was when some black people that were on the feed were saying things like, well, it doesn't matter that he's dead, he married a cracker anyway. And it was like, somebody had to come on there and say, I don't know if the guy was black or what, but the guy had to say, are you completely insane? Have you lost your mind that you cannot see beyond the issue of his partner? The man is dead. He was murdered by police. That is the bigger issue. That is the frequency you're supposed to be focused upon. Stop with this hatred. Because the guy doesn't so what? If he had a black partner, would that make his death any less? Would it not have ended up with him being dead then all of a sudden? Which is again a ridiculous ideal to even to entertain, let alone to actually think that people would actually believe in. So I couldn't agree with more. And it's not about. I just picked that subject because it relates to what much that he was saying. But it goes to gender. It goes to politics, like you say. It goes to the art and the messages we're sending, which is why the topic of the show was so important to me today, because it's like, remember people, the words that we put out there do affect people in the world now. You don't know when you put something online that is a poem, where that poem might be read. It might be read in one of the most remote parts of the world where they happen to have some internet connection. So remember the value and the importance, and I go back to your statement of what we write in blood. It is our very soul that we are putting out there for people to ingest. So give them the best of your soul. Do not give them the worst. And too many people at the moment are doing that. But I think, like you say, the transitional phase is in motion without any shadow of a doubt. I believe COVID has been a catalyst for much of that to be what will come in the future. But as I say, we will definitely pick this up another time, Randall, but we have to move on. So, JC, please come on in, bro. If you want to have a little bit of input on what we've been talking about, I'd appreciate it, and then obviously put the last poem up.
Yeah. All right. I think what we're going to do is we're going to carry all of the rest of the poems over, and we're just going to play an outro song here because we're within 5 minutes of Blog Talk kicking us off air. So why don't you go ahead and give some thanks to everybody, Verge, and or I can do that because I actually got my.
I'm sure you do.
Randall, you like the song.
Let me firstly you, JC, for partnering with me and helping me to make sure that this show got on air and we had such a great show tonight. It's just a shame that we had quite a lot of interference this evening, so we're going to have to try and find a way to limit that. Randall, of course, thank you so much for taking the time and for coming back after your appointment. I really can't thank you enough for doing that.
It's my
pleasure. Thank you. Bruce, lady in charge, goodness me, we have to thank you because I don't think people really have a big concept of just how busy your days and your life is. We appreciate you to the max, no matter what I say to you. Do not ever underestimate how much I value the amount of effort and time and organizing and creativity that you put into this Shai, thank you so much for being with us tonight. You've been an absolute blessing. And we look forward to hearing much, much more from you. And, of course, getting to hear some of your poetry. Oh, my God, JC, Irish Soul, Diabolical, Laughing Soul, Momo, Linda. There's so many people that we have to thank for being involved. Thank you all for being involved. Rhymer, I've got to make a special shout out to you. Thank you so much for the poem. You were absolutely outstanding, and your comments were eloquent, articulate, and very thoughtful. Jay, I'm going to pass it back to you and let you finalize the goodbyes and thank yous.
Okay. Jay, can I say something?
Go ahead, Boo.
I just wanted to say, like, you can listen. I'm going to put the list on the board. Like, you can listen to this show on many other outlets, iTunes, Spotify, Spreaker, and SoundCloud. List on the board. Thank you.
Absolutely. And I want to thank, let's see, we got Linda Rose, Chai, Rima, Meta, Randall, Wayne, all for calling up. Momo, Tans, Beard, Lizzie, Soul out on the board. Boo for everything you do. And everybody else who writes for us, who's ever left over, will be read on Wednesday at our house. And thank you, Verge, for being an awesome host, partner with me. And let's play us this little outro song. Tuesday, Boo and Randall. Don't forget, 9 o'clock Eastern, Wednesday, our house noon. Open poetry tomorrow, 9 o'clock. Don't forget about that. And this song will probably get cut off in the middle of it because we are running out of time on Blog Talk. So here we go.
All right, thank you. Thanks, good job, Verge.
I'm going to try to play this. It's dedicated to my lover.
Wait 5 minutes, please.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you, everybody, for listening. This has been La Cosa Nostra Radio on the Verge with Verge and Jay. This is Jay signing off. Good night.